Hey guys, today we are going to be making a little capybara, and just a little heads up about your crochet. This one here on the left is made with a 2mm hook and a tighter stitches. You can see it's very firm, it's very tight, and it looks really cute. It's tiny as well, a perfect size for a keychain. This right here, this little cutie, it is made with a 3mm hook and the same ply yarn. So both of these are 4-ply yarn, but this is 2mm hook and this is 3mm hook. And this one here, I've made it in 3mm hook and a less tighter stitch. So you can see the difference. This is 2mm hook with tighter stitch. This is 3mm hook with looser stitch. So with these two in reference, you can figure out what hook size you possibly want to use. Let's get into the tutorial. So for our crochet capybara, we will need light brown yarn, dark brown yarn for the ears, and we will also need some black yarn and your essential crocheting materials, which is our weaving in needle, our signaling pin, and a little keychain if you want to make it into a keychain. And we are going to be using a 3mm hook. We are going to start with our light brown yarn and we're going to do a magic ring. I basically do my magic ring in a really weird way. So we're just going to make a little loop like this. And we're going to hold down on the part where the two strings are connected. And we're going to insert our hook. And we're going to yarn over, pull out, yarn over, and pull out. This is our magic ring complete. And for row 1, we are going to do 6 single crochets. So inserting our hook into the loop, yarn over, pull out, yarn over, pull through both loops on the hook. That's 1 single crochet, and we're going to use a single pin, and we're going to pin our first single crochet, second single crochet, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. That is 6 single crochets done. So we're going to pull on our string here, pull it tightly, and we're going to do a slip stitch on our very first chain, which is right there where our signaling pin is. We're going to do a slip stitch. To do a slip stitch, we just insert our hook into the very first single crochet, and we're going to yarn over, pull out. You should have 2 loops on your hook. We're going to pull out again. That is our first row complete, and at the beginning we're going to do a chain for every row. And we are going to do 6 increase in the next row. Increase is basically 2 single crochets in 1 stitch. So for the next row, we're going to insert our hook back into the place where we did our slip stitch, which is right here. And we're going to do 2 single crochets in this 1 stitch. This is 1 single crochet, and we're going to add a little pin on this. And in the same stitch, we're going to do our second single crochet. That is 1 single crochet increase complete. We need to do 6. 2 in the same stitch. Second single crochet increase, 3 in the same stitch, 4, 5, and 6. And after you have 6 single crochet, we're going to ignore this 2 here. It looks like 2 areas where we need to do our single crochet. No, we're just going to skip these 2 and we're going to insert our hook back into the place where our signaling pin is, and we're going to do a slip stitch and then pull out. And then chain. Okay. For our next row, we're going to do 1 single crochet and 1 single crochet increase repeated 6 times. So we are going to do 1 single crochet in the area where we just did our slip stitch. So right here, we're going to do 1 single crochet, and then lock it up. And then in the next stitch, we're going to do a single crochet increase, which is 2 single crochets in 1 stitch. And we're just going to follow this pattern all the way around. So 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet increase, 2, 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet increase, 3, 1 single crochet increase, 6, and we're just going to do a slip stitch where our signaling pin is. Make sure you slip stitched and chained. Next round we are going to do a single crochet, an increase, and a single crochet, and that repeated 6 times. So in the same place where our signaling pin was, or where we did our slip stitch, we are going to do a single crochet. 1 single crochet, and we're going to pin our first single crochet, and next we're going to do a single crochet increase, which is basically an increase, and then we are going to do a single crochet in the next stitch, so 1 single crochet, 1 increase, which is 2 single crochets in 1 stitch, 1 increase, 1 single crochet, that's the second pattern done, 1 single crochet, 1 increase, 1 single crochet, 3 done, 1 single crochet, 1 increase, and then 1 single crochet. 6 done. We're going to slip stitch where our signaling pin is, and then make sure you pull it tightly, and then we're going to do a chain. In the next round, we are going to do 3 single crochets and 1 increase repeated 6 times. So we're going to do 1 single crochet at the place where we have our signaling pin, so that's where our first single crochet goes, and we're going to take it out and pin our very first stitch. So that's 1 single crochet done. We're going to do 2 more, 1, 2, and then 3. That's our third single crochet done, and then we're going to do an increase, 1, and then in the same stitch we're going to do another single crochet. So we're going to repeat this 6 times. So 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, 3 single crochet, and then an increase. That is second pattern done. 3 single crochets, 2, 3, and an increase. That is third pattern done, and then 1, 2, 3, and then increase. That is our 6th pattern done, and we are going to slip stitch and chain at the stitch where we had our signaling pin, and we're going to make sure it's tightened up, and then do a chain. Make sure the chain's a bit tightened up as well. And for row 6, we are going to do 2 single crochets, 1 increase, 2 single crochets repeated 6 times. So we're going to insert our hook where our signaling pin is. That's our first stitch. We're going to do 1 single crochet, and we're going to remove the hook and pin our very first stitch. That is 1 single crochet done. We need to do 2 single crochets. So second single crochet, and then we have an increase in the next stitch, which is 2 single crochets in 1 stitch. And then to finish off this pattern, we need to do 2 more single crochets, 1 and then 2. So this is 1 pattern, and you need to repeat this all the way around, a total of 6 times. So 2 single crochets, and then an increase, and then 2 single crochets. This is our second pattern done, and our last pattern, our 2 single crochets, 1, 2, an increase, 1, and then 2 chains in the same stitch, and then 2 last single crochets, 1 and then 2. Then you should always see 2 little V shapes left over. That's just our starting chain. We're going to slip stitch where our signaling pin is, and we're going to pull tightly together like this, and then do a slip stitch. And then do a chain. So for row 7, 8, and 9, we are just going to do 36 single crochets, so just single crochets all the way around. So to start off, we're going to, of course, do a single crochet where our signaling pin is. 1 single crochet. Pin our first single crochet, and we are going to do 36 in total. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, and 36. And you should always see this two little small V shapes. You always ignore that, and we're going to do a slip stitch and a chain where our signaling pin is, slip stitch, great, and then a chain, and then we are going to repeat the same thing 2 more times. So we're going to start where our signaling pin is. That's where our first. So once you've finished your rows 8 and 9 and you've done your slip stitch and chain, we are going to move on to row 10. And for row 10, we are going to start off with 4 single crochets. So inserting our hook into where our signaling pin is, yarn over and yarn over. This is 1 single crochet, 2, 3, 4, and for the next few, and then after you finish your 4 single crochets, we're going to do 1 single crochet and 1 decrease repeated 5 times. So 1 single crochet and then 1 decrease. And for the decrease, we're just going to insert our hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull out, inserting your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull out. You should see 3 loops on your hook. We're going to yarn over and pull through all 3. That is 1 pattern done. You know, repeat this 5 times. So decrease, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. After you've finished your single crochet and decrease pattern, we are going to do 4 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And for the next few rows, we're just going to do single crochets and increase repeated 6 times. So 1 single crochet, and then an increase, which is basically 2 single crochets in 1 stitch, and you need to repeat that 6 times. So that's our first one done. 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, and then 6 single crochet and then decrease. And after you finish the 6 single crochets and increase, we are going to do 1 single crochet at the very end. And note, you'll still have that 2 mini V shapes here. That doesn't matter. We are going to do a slip stitch where our signaling pin is, making sure it's tight, and a chain. So that's row 10 complete, and you should see your capybara should look something like this. For row 11, we are going to start off with 5 single crochets. So inserting a hook where your signaling pin is, and we're going to start off with our first single crochet. One, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we are going to do 5 decrease. So to do a decrease, we'll do that again. We need to insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull out. Insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull out. And then yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on your hook. Make sure your decrease are tight. That's 1 decrease. 2 decrease. 3 decrease. 4th decrease. And our 5th decrease. And next we are going to do 4 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. After that, we are going to do a single crochet and a single crochet decrease, or basically a single crochet We're going to do a single crochet and a decrease repeated 6 times. So 1 single crochet, and then a decrease, and that should be repeated 6 times all the way around. So single crochet, decrease, single crochet, decrease, single crochet. Oh, that was the 3 patterns. Single crochet, decrease, 4th pattern, single crochet, decrease, that's 5th pattern, and our last single crochet and last decrease, 6th pattern. And we're going to slip stitch where our signaling pin is. Make sure your slip stitch is always a bit tighter, and then a chain. For the next round, we are just going to do 26 single crochets. So we're going to insert our hook where our signaling pin is, yarn over, pull out, yarn over, pull through both loops. That is 1 single crochet complete. And mark our first row, lock it up. Two single crochet, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, and 26. And we're going to slip stitch and chain where our pin is, slip stitch, and chain. This is how our capybara is looking like. Next, we are going to do 6 single crochets. So starting from where our signaling pin was, I just took it off. We're going to do 1 single crochet. I'm going to pin this up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Oops. 6, and then we are going to do 3 single crochets together, which is basically a decrease with 3 single crochets. So we're going to insert our hook, yarn over, pull out, insert our hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull out, and then insert our hook into another next stitch, yarn over, pull out. You should have 4 loops on your hook. We're going to yarn over and pull through all 4 of these. And then next we're just going to do 17 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. And we're going to slip stitch where our signaling pin is and do a chain. Great. For the next 3 rows, we are going to do 24 single crochets. So we'll do 1 row together. So row 14, we're going to do 24 single crochets, inserting your hook where our signaling pin is, yarn over and pull out. We are going to do, that is our first single crochet, and we're going to do 24 in total. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24. We're going to insert our hook, slip stitch, and then chain. You have to repeat this 2 more times. So once you've done rows 15 and 16, we are going to move on to row 17. And row 17, we're going to do 2 single crochet and increase, repeated 8 times. So we're going to do 1 single crochet where our signaling pin is. We're going to mark it with our pin. And then our second single crochet in the next stitch. And then we're going to do a single crochet increase, or basically an increase in the next stitch, which is 2 single crochets in 1 stitch. And this needs to be repeated 8 times. So 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, and then an increase, That's 2 patterns complete. And we need to repeat this all the way around. Three, 4, 5, 6, and then last pattern. And then we're going to slip stitch. And then chain. Next row, we are going to do 2 single crochets and decrease. Repeated 8 times. So, inserting our hook where our signaling pin was, we are going to do 1 single crochet, lock it up, and then next we are going to do another single crochet in the next stitch, 2 single crochet, and then 1 decrease. And this should be repeated 8 times. So 2 single crochet and 1 decrease. 2, sorry, and then 8. And then we're going to yarn over, we're going to insert our hook, yarn over, and do a slip stitch. We're going to do a slip stitch and chain. For the next row, we are going to do 1 single crochet and 1 decrease repeated 8 times. So, inserting our hook into where our signaling pin is, yarn over, pull out, yarn over, pull through both loops. That is 1 single crochet. And then we're going to do a decrease, inserting our hook, yarn over, pull out, inserting our hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull out, then yarn over, pull through all 3. So that is 1 pattern. We need to repeat that 8 times. 2, 3, and then 8. Okay, and then we're going to insert our hook, slip stitch, and then a chain. Before we finish off, we can add our fillings inside. Adding a bit more down here. And now we're just going to close off by doing decrease all around. So starting where our signaling pin is, we're going to do our first decrease. One decrease, and make sure your decrease are tight, yes? Three, decrease. 4, decrease. 5, decrease. 6, decrease. 7 decrease, 8 decrease, and then once you've done 8 decrease, we're just going to slip stitch, and then don't worry about chaining, we can cut off our thread. We are going to use our needle to weave in. And in order to weave in this little hole, we're going to use our needle and go through the back of each chain. So entering through the back of each chain like this. Make sure you don't pull it yet. We'll pull it at the very end of every chain. Then we're going to pull. Then once you're pulling, you can slowly see that the hole is getting tighter. Just gonna pull on it like that. We're going to cut off. So let's do the arm of the capybara. To do the arm, let's find, you see this curve? At the end of this curve, count down 1 and then 2. We are going to insert our hook into the second one here. It doesn't have to be the second one, as long as it's on both sides, we'll be fine. And then we're going to insert our hook inside, and we're going to put our yarn like this and hold the yarn tightly. And we are going to do 3 chains. 1 chain, 2 chain, and 3 chain. And we are going to do a half double crochet. To do a half double crochet, we are going to yarn over, insert our hook back into the stitch, yarn over, pull out. You should see 3 loops on your hook. We're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. That was a bit tricky. And in the next stitch, we are going to do 2 half double crochet. So yarn over first, insert your hook into the next stitch, which is over here. We're going to do 2 half double crochets. 1 and then 2. Pulling through all 3 loops. And then we're going to do 3 chain, 1, 2, and 3. And we're going to slip stitch where our half double crochets were. And slip stitch. And we're going to leave some yarn and cut off. So that is one hand complete. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So we're going to flip our piece. It was like this. We're going to flip it over like that. Going to insert our hook over here. Make sure it's aligned, so in the same area, we are going to start off by having 3 single crochets. So 1 single crochet, 2, and 3. And then in the same stitch here, we're going to do 2 half double crochets. Yarn over, pull through the 3 loops on your hook. It might be a bit hard to do that. Okay, and then yarn over again, and then same half double crochet in the same stitch. And then in the next stitch, which is down below, right underneath, we're going to do 1/2 double crochet, yarn over first, insert your hook, yarn over, pull out, and then pull through all 3 loops. And then 3 chains, 1, 2, and 3. And we're going to do a slip stitch in the same area where we did a 1/2 double crochet. And then a slip stitch, and we can cut off. Easy, like that. And now I am going to just tie these 2 knots together so the arms look a bit folded. Tying these 2 together and then tying these 2 together from the back. Just going to. You're supposed to use the needle because my yarn, I cut it a bit too short. I'm just gonna weave in using my hook. And then we're just going to push the excess piece inside of our work. I'm going to weave in for the other side. Okay, and then just going to push our piece inside and do the same thing for the other side. And now we are going to do the leg part or the feet of our capybara. To do that, we are going to start off with a magic ring again. And this is how I do a magic ring. I would make a loop like this. And then I'll hold on to this cross area. And we are going to do 6 single crochets. One single crochet. Make sure you mark it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and tighten our string. Oops. Tighten our string. And we're going to slip stitch where our signaling pin is. And then make sure you do a chain after the slip stitch. And we're going to do 6 increase, so inserting our hook where our signaling pin is, we're going to do an increase in here. Increase is basically 2 single crochets in 1 stitch. So that's 1 single crochet, and in the same hole where our signaling pin is, do a 2nd single crochet. That is an increase. And I have to put our single crochet on the first stitch over here. And then 2 single crochets, 3 single crochets, 4 single crochets, 5 single crochet, and then 6 single crochet, and then a slip stitch where our signaling pin is, and just to cut off like this. And this is the feet part of our capybara. We just need to do another one of this. So we've got our second feet complete. Okay. tie a knot once you've weaved in, and you can just hide the string, rest of the string in here. And we're going to do the same thing for the other side. We're just going to weave in, tie a knot, and we're going to push this yarn inside. Preferably, I would recommend using a hot glue gun, and you can just hot glue the legs onto our capybara, or you can stitch it on. I prefer hot gluing it on, so we're going to hot glue this on. So this is how it'll look like once you've glued the feet and stitched the arms. So this is how it should look like once you have glued the 2 feet and crocheted the arms. The side would look something like this. So is the other side. For the ears of the capybara, we are going to grab our dark brown yarn, and we are going to do the ears of the capybara. So this is where our head is. Usually you can place it anywhere depending on how you like it. I would recommend counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, counting 5 down, and do 3 rows over here. We're going to start inserting our hook, making sure that your ears are not slanted, right? We are going to do 3 chains, 1, 2, and 3, and we are in the same hook over here, in the same stitch over here, we're going to do 1 half double crochet. So so in the same stitch here, we're going to do 1 half double crochet. We are going to do 1 half double crochet, and to do a half double crochet, we're going to yarn over first, inserting our hook into the same spot where we've done our 3 chains, yarn over and pull out, and yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on your hook. This might be a bit hard, but you can do this. And in the next stitch, which is up here, we are going to do 3 double crochets. So we're going to insert our hook into the next stitch, and we're going to do 3 double crochets. So yarn over, and in the next stitch above where we did a half double crochet, we are going to do 3 half double crochets. So to do a half double crochet, we need to yarn over first, insert our hook, and then pull out. Ooh. Yarn over, insert our hook, pull out. Oh, yarn over, inserting our hook. We're going to yarn over, pull out, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. To do the same thing twice. Pull through all 3 loops, and then pulling through all 3 loops. Ooh. And then we are going to move up by 1 stitch again, and we're going to do 1 half double crochet, and then 3 chains, 2, 3, and then a slip stitch. Slip stitch, then we can cut off. This is one part of the ears complete. We are going to do the second part. Just make sure they're aligned. It doesn't matter where you start your ears, as long as it's on top of the head, it's not somewhere down here, then anywhere is fine. We are going to do the other side of the ears, and we're going to start with the top here. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, making sure we're inserting our hook somewhere similar. And we're going to do 3 chains, 1, 2, and 3. We're going to insert our hook into the same, so making sure we're inserting our hook into the same place as the other side. We're going to grab our yarn, put it behind our piece, hold it, and we're going to yarn over and pull out. Make sure this part is held tightly so this part of the yarn doesn't move, and we're going to do 3 chains. 1, 2, 3, and in the same hole or in the same stitch here, we're going to do a half double crochet, and to do a half double crochet, we're going to yarn over, insert our hook into the same stitch, yarn over, pull out, and yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. Once you've done these parts, the back is all right if you don't hold it. And we're going to move down by 1 stitch, so 1 row, and we're going to do 3 half double crochet in the next stitch. So yarning over first, inserting our hook, yarn over, pull out, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. That's 1 in the same stitch. 2, and in the same stitch, 3, and then we're going to do a half double crochet in the next stitch or in the next row. 1 half double crochet, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops, and then 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, and then in the same stitch, we are going to do a slip stitch. And then we're going to pull and cut off. So this is how our capybara is looking like. And we need to hide our yarn by weaving in. We just need to grab our needle, and we are going to weave in by going through our piece, randomly, then we can cut off once you've weaved enough, and press in. Do the same thing with the other side, randomly weaving in and then cutting off and pressing inside like this. We're going to grab a shade that is darker, then we are going to dab it on. Just a little circular area on the nose and the mouth part of the capybara. You can't really see it much in the video, but I promise it's there. And we are going to do the mouth part. Now we are going to grab black yarn. Around 20 centimeters is fine. We're going to insert our hook from the back. We're going to look at our face. We want to have 2 at the center. So 2 boxes as the center, actually 3 boxes. We want to have 3 boxes as the center. So my target 3 would be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That makes a little square. My target is over here and I will pull the thread out of this part. So we're going to insert our hook from the back. We're going to thread out. Make sure you leave some pieces hanging at the back. And we're going to insert our piece by counting 3 to the left. 1, 2, 3. We're going to insert our hook in here. And we're going to push back. Ooh, okay. Push back. Make sure you leave little loop here. Looking at this, we are going to go 2 downwards, 1 row, 2 row, and the middle of this 2 row is where we're going to come out from. So we're going to turn our piece to the back. We're going to insert our hook where our black string is coming out from, and we are going to try to aim it at that bottom, yes, middle, and we're going to pull out. See, once you're pulling out, the yarn is gone, it's hidden. And now we are going to insert our hook into this loop that we've left. We're going to pull on it and pull down, and then you see it'll make this sort of V shape, and we are going to tighten this part at the back a little bit because we don't want our V shape to be very down. We want it to look nice, and we're going to insert our hook back into the place and pull through. Just make sure to adjust the V shape to your liking. And make sure you don't do it too tight. A bit loose is fine. Once you've got the V shape of your capybara, we are going to do the eyes. And the eyes, I recommend doing the eyes on the same row where you've done the top part of the nose. So in the same area right here. And eyes, for me, I will probably do 3 bars or 2 bars maybe. So 1, 2. So 2 square bars. 1, 2. Out from here. Then, so this is 1 square, 2 square, and then we're going to insert from here to the other side. Like this. Excellent. And same thing for the other side. One, 2. Okay. Make sure you adjust the tightness so it's not too tight, right? It's gotta give it some air to breathe. Okay, and this is the face of the capybara. We can hide these strings by weaving in. I will probably go, this is how a capybara is looking like. We can add a bit more of the makeup. Just adding a little bit more because I think it's smudged off a little bit on the nose area. And then personally, I also like to add a little bit of blush, just a little bit of finishing touch. We are going to grab our blush and we're going to give it some cutesy little blush as well. Look at that. It's more cuter. Just adding some more blush. And they're all in like a circular motion. This is how our capybara should look like. And for the bag of the capybara, I'll be doing an orange, so it'll be orange yarn and green yarn. So of course we are going to start off with a magic ring. To do a magic ring, I usually just do a loop like this and then pressing on to the cross. And we're going to insert our hook, yarn over, pull out, and pull out. That is our magic ring complete like this. And we're going to start with 6 single crochets. So inserting your hook into your loop, yarn over, pull out, yarn over, pull out. We're going to grab our signaling pin. We're going to pull and close off. 6 single crochets, so 2 single crochets, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. And we're going to tighten our loop. We are going to slip stitch where our signaling pin is and chain. And we're going to do 6 single crochet increase. So 6 increase, so 2 single crochets in 1 stitch. Inserting a hook where our signaling pin is, yarn over, pull out, yarn over, pull out. So that is 1 single crochet in the same stitch where we did that first single crochet. We're going to do another one. So that's an increase. We need to repeat that 6 times. 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. And then we could slip stitch and then chain. And for the next row, we are just going to do a single crochet and an increase repeated 6 times. So 1 single crochet where our signaling pin is, and then an increase that is repeated 6 times. Single crochet, increase, single crochet, increase, single crochet, single crochet, increase, single crochet, increase, single crochet, then increase, repeat it 6 times. And then we can yarn over, slip stitch. You can see if the backpack is big enough. I think if you want it a bit bigger, you can do another row of just single crochets. But I think I want mine a bit small, so I will leave off like that. And weave in. So to do a green part, I'm just going to do chain. So we're going to press the yarn like this with our finger. And we're going to yarn over and pull out. We are going to do 2 chains. 1, 2, and we're going to do a half double crochet. So yarn over first, inserting our hook into the same place where we did our 2 chains, yarn over, pull out, and yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. And then we're going to do 3 chains, 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to slip stitch in the same spot as well. And then pull and cut off. We're going to use a needle to weave in. Nice. Okay, that. And for the straps is just chain. We do a slip knot. To do a slip knot, we basically just do a loop like that and inserting our hook, do a loop like this, inserting our finger into the loop and pull out. That's a slip knot. Make sure you leave some, maybe around 10 centimeters over here, and do however amount of chains you want. So ideally you want the chain to wrap around the arm and back to where the orange is. So we can just estimate this a little. I will start with 20 chains. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. This is one side, and let's do the other side. I'm just going to do a knot over here to combine or to tie these two together, not like this. And we're going to insert it where the middle or the center of our orange. So it's somewhere here is our center of the orange. Just going to pull through like this. And then we're just going to weave in. Honestly, this part, it's like up to you, however you want to weave it in like. I'm just gonna weave in like this. I'm not gonna really care about the looks as long as it looks good from the outside. But if not, you guys can add like a little felt paper and stick it on. But I reckon it'll be fine without it. And then you can just put the backpack on. So this is how our finished capybara looks like. Give it a 360 tour. Oh my god, look at this little kitty. Just a little tip, if you are making it into a keychain, I recommend you gluing the backpack on because you'll definitely lose it. It's not very stable on the arms. And if you want it as a keychain, you can add the keychain thing up here or on the ears. It'll look nice.